4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Coffee and Conversation, Couples Edition. This is our Valentine's Day special. Thank you so much for joining us. So grab a cup of coffee and enjoy the conversation. So I'm here with my incredible wife, Amy, and some great friends. We have Larry and Terry Thornton. Luke, a.k.a. 405, is in the house with his lovely wife, Heather. And then we have Dan and Christy Vanderwall. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is going to be a lot of fun. Now, we know you guys, and we love you guys, right? So, but not everybody out there may know you. So, in typical DNA fashion, Amy, what are we going to do to everybody get to know them a little bit better?
Right. So we really wanted to take just a minute to get to know everybody on a fun level first. So I did decide to make some paddles that we all have. Of course, Dan and Christy have some faces. Luke has a beard. And Larry has a matching handle to his hat. So I wanted to make sure that he was able to stay warm on being the king of the mountain.
Yeah, it's really hot.
Oh, leave it on.
So this game has 10 questions, and we're going to do them fairly quickly unless we get a crazy answer that we can.
Which is probably going to happen.
It's going to happen for sure.
Now, just so they don't know what these questions are.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah, we haven't told them.
No,
So
we
this ought to
decided
be good, guys. We
not
didn't
to
you this
tell
part,
them
so.
the questions.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have to ease them into this though.
Do we explain?
Okay. Oh yeah.
Green is yes.
Green is yes.
Red is no.
Red is no.
Simple yes,
See?
no questions.
They're already good at this.
They got it.
Okay. All right. Are you ready? Question number 1 is, have you ever test drove a car that you had no intention of buying?
No, I don't think
Really?
so.
Heather, what did you test drive?
I test drove a truck. I wanted to drive a truck. I'd never driven a truck before. I was looking for a car, but I definitely wasn't going to buy that truck. So.
Gotcha. That's okay. That's okay. You're definitely not alone. Okay.
Yeah, but both the Oldbergs said green.
Yeah.
Okay. I did test drive Infinity, like a really expensive sports car, but decided not to buy it because I couldn't.
But we might do the other.
Yeah. Okay. Question number 2. Have you ever lied to make yourself look good?
Hasn't.
Everybody has green. Anybody want to tell?
Wait, hold on. I'm lying right now.
No.
Or-
Maybe.
Okay.
So we're a bunch of liars. That's what's going on.
Okay. Well, just okay.
We're on.
Did you ever blame a spouse for something you did?
Are you trying to start a fire?
To
Or blame for my spouse for something I did?
maybe
Really?
Yep.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, is that a maybe? Maybe.
Christy, you want to share?
I can't think of one, but she says I have. So
not like serious blaming, but maybe like joking, like I don't know, things with the kids, like, oh, that was your fault, or things.
Oh, pew.
Not for real blaming.
What did you do? That they're talking. You can't-
That was the
It
dog.
was him. It was him.
Okay. All right. sell a kidney for money?
Amy,
No.
I only have one kidney. I can't sell it.
That's right.
Well, if you need
Wait,
another one, let me
how
know.
much money?
Oh my gosh.
Give him my extra one.
These are good.
Okay. All right. Did you ever throw away something of your spouse's and hoped they didn't notice?
Oh, yeah.
Henry, will you share?
My sweater.
Now we're gonna fight.
So, Henry, what did you throw away?
Where do you want to start? Let's start with the sweater.
Okay, he got this really nice sweater for Christmas one year, and I was washing it, and I ended up pouring bleach all over it, and I just hid it away. Like, I just didn't even tell him. I just threw it away, and
No, you hid it behind the dryer.
I hid it behind the dryer, and he found it one day with a big bleach spot on it. So, yeah. That was back when we didn't have anything. Like, we were so poor. How long ago was that?
We were 26.
Yeah,
27,
like 26. Yeah, a long time ago.
30 years ago.
How old he was when his sweater was thrown. That's what makes it such a good question. Okay, Christian.
Oh, set us up.
Are you judgmental?
What was the question?
Maybe. That
I
was my
try not
maybe.
to be.
Are you
I feel bad every time I do it, but it
Don't
hasn't stopped me
judge
doing
me.
it yet.
Judgmental?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not proud of it.
all right? That just means that we're all. That just means that we're all Christians saved by grace through faith, right?
Amen.
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 Okay, I was waiting for that one.
Amen.
And we're honest.
That's right. Okay. Have you ever done anything you said you never would?
Mhm.
It's unanimous. Would you like to share yours, honey?
Wow. Okay. This is a fun fact. So right after Amy and I got married, and we were sitting there talking one night, we're like, we're never gonna be in ministry. We're just not gonna go there. We're not gonna go down that road. And and Amy's like, just promise me you'll never make me a pastor's wife. I said, you got it, honey. Not a chance. Sorry, honey.
Great. All green here. Okay. Did you steal your spouse from a friend?
Really?
Oh.
Really?
Luke and Heather, do tell.
Yeah. They're muted.
Oh boy. So we met through my cousin who was dating Luke at the time. They broke up, and about a year after, we were all hanging out, and she looked at both of us and said, you two need to date. You have way too much in common to not see where it goes. So we did, and 3 months later we were engaged, and
4 months.
4 months, sorry. And less than a year we were married.
So kind of, sort of.
So kind of, sort of. We got her permission.
Permission from a
And
friend.
she's still a friend.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's pretty
She was
good.
in our wedding.
That's good. That's good.
Awesome.
Okay, we have one question. Are you ready? Would you tattoo your partner's name on you
What?
Gary, Dan, and all going to get tattoos after this. That's what's happening.
You're not.
I would.
No.
But I don't like pain.
Okay, so no tattoo, but you would tattoo Larry's name on you.
I would. I love him that much that I would.
Look, I would love to get another tattoo, but there's no way I'm tattooing her name on me because it's really bad luck.
Mm.
Only your parents' name or your children's name, or maybe your dog.
Anything.
Way to alienate all the people that have gotten tattoos of their spouses in the church.
I have enough
What
tattoos. I
about
think I can have an opinion.
Dan, are you running out to get a new tattoo?
I mean, I feel like I've had a lot of crazy thoughts of tattoos I wanted, so I feel like that's probably one of the more like
Normal ones.
normal ones that we go with. So if I said no, I think I get in trouble.
I don't want my name tattooed on you.
So this has been a lot of fun. And, so why did we get together tonight? So why did we get all these couples together? Because they're awesome and we want to hang out with them, obviously. And well, it seemed appropriate because it's Valentine's Day that we would do kind of a couples thing. It seemed like the appropriate thing to do. And any chance that I get to hang out and do something with this awesome lady, it's always going to be a blessing and a blast. So also we feel like 2020, man, was a rough year for just about everybody in some form or fashion. And it really took a toll on friends and family and community. So we wanted to get a few different perspectives. We have a few different, generations represented here. We have, to kind of get some perspective from different couples on how this year impacted some of our friends. You guys are our friends, so we want to know how it impacted you and your families, as part of our journey community. So that's why we're doing this. We wanted some perspective on, man, how you guys, navigated, the craziness. And it's obviously awesome to see that everybody can still laugh, right? So we're still laughing, we're still smiling. And so Dan and Christy, we're going to go to you guys first, and we're going to start the conversation with Dan and Christy. Dan's our children and families pastor. And so both of these guys passionately care for the littles in our church, right? Which is awesome, which is totally amazing, while offering much needed support to the parents too. And if there was ever a year, I think, when parents needed some support, man, it was 2020. I tell you what, homeschooling, all that stuff, man, I'm so glad we have raised kid. So Dan and Christy, to say that 2020 was a crazy year of transition for you guys would be a pretty radical understatement, I think. So you pack up, you move to Kingman. Who moves to Kingman? Everybody, apparently. You get a new job, you in a new town, you get here, and then a pandemic hits. Why not? Let's just add it to the mix, right? So you guys didn't even have time to get settled like into your home, barely. Let alone have an opportunity to settle into and connect with your church community or even your new city. So walk us through this craziness of 2020.
So we are Dan and Christy, like he said. We have 3 boys that are 8, 7 as of yesterday, and 3. Gavin is a 2nd grader, Mike is a 1st grader, and Colin stays home with me and makes my life crazy and fun. So we have been married 10 years. And we moved here from South Dakota most recently. We were living there for 3 years. And before that, we were living in Mexico, and we've lived in San Diego and Brazil, and we've lived all over. So really moving here and the pandemic, it really wasn't that crazy for us because, I feel like we handle transitions pretty well just because we have them all the time. So for us, it's been pretty easy to just move somewhere and find community, and God has really blessed us with that everywhere we've moved, just having good friends that are like family, and loving people that care for us and help us get used to the city, and yeah, all of that. So
we've learned pretty early that we've got to be intentional, right? We got to put ourselves out there. You know, one of the nice things about us, and kind of a fun fact about us too, is that Christy is actually Pastor Kyle's sister. So we moved here and we have built-in family, which we've never lived by them before. So that was awesome. We also, like Christy said, we've been married 10 years, but we've moved 11 times. So unfortunately, we've done transition a lot. We don't want to do it anymore.
That was one of my never statements. I said, I will never move back to South Dakota after growing up there. Don't say that, because it usually happens.
Like I said, I think what we've learned in that is you got to be intentional about people around you. We can't expect people to have us over and get to know us. So I mean, my responsibility is to get to know people. So I have to be out there. I put myself out there. I have to invite people into our home, even when we don't have relationships yet.
No. We love to have people over for dinner. That's one of the ways that we get to know people. We love hosting and entertaining, and yeah, like you said, we put ourselves out there to get to know people. So that's not easy for everyone, but that's what we do.
Yeah, I don't want you guys to move anymore, okay? We like you. We want you just to stay here.
Well, when we moved here, I said, I'm not going to say I'm never moving again, because then that would happen. So I've not said that.
Let's just all be intentional about having you guys stay here.
We'll say it for you.
I think it's a little bit interesting, you know, that you said you have to be intentional about meeting people, because I think that this last year has kind of forced all of us to really find new ways to connect with each other. For some of us, doing things like Zoom, you know, I had never heard of Zoom at the beginning of 2020.
Nope.
Now I lost track a long time ago of how many Zoom meetings or Zoom calls or, you know, Zoom, you know, family chats, whatever it is. I lost track a long time ago, but that was nothing going into 2020 that I thought I was gonna, you know, I couldn't see that. And it's, for me, it's been really interesting to have an emphasis on nurturing one-on-one relationships, because as a lot of you know, I love to have big groups of people over, barbecue, you know, feed the masses. And now it's like, oh, well, we could have, you know, dinner with a couple, maybe 3 people. So it's been a little bit different, but I have found that, you know, inviting a friend out to lunch, which is not really something that I was in the habit of doing. Now I do a lot more, and, you know, I'm getting to know people a lot better as a result of it. So that's been pretty cool.
I also want to say one of the beautiful things about that has come out of this pandemic, for me, is I've reconnected with people that I haven't talked to in a long time through Zoom, through the online technology. I have a friend who I hadn't talked to in 9 years, and she was in my wedding. And we ended up chatting for a couple of hours. She moved away, I moved away. We kind of just lost track, but we reconnected during this time. And that was a really neat thing. And it taught me that I want to continue to do that after we're not be too busy to reconnect with people.
So good.
That's really cool. I love that thread of intentional connection, because I think, you know, we have to be intentional. And so that's that's really cool seeing those examples there. You know, we want it. We want to be connected to each other, right? So, you know, intentionally stepping out and doing that, even trying new things, really cool. That's golden, man. So Larry and Terry, you know, you guys have, speaking of intentional, you know, kind of connection, you guys have done kind of a cool thing at your house a few times, where cribbage and spicy food or something. You know, we've heard some fun stories. So you guys have an amazing family, pretty good sized family. Got some super cute grandkids. I'm just saying, they're pretty cute.
Yeah. Yes,
No,
we do.
and that's awesome. And you guys also own and operate a successful business here in Kingman. You have a location here in Kingman. So tell us a little bit about you guys and how 2020 has affected your family and your business in the community of Kingman.
Okay, ladies first.
Oh, well, I'll start off by saying that we've been married for 31 years.
Almost 32.
Yeah, almost 32. And we have 3 kids, and they're all in their 30s. So I have no idea how old they are, just in their 30s. So, and we have 10 grandkids, but 9 are living, and one passed away. But and then so you can talk about the business part.
Oh, I don't talk about the business.
Because I take care of him. I'm not really in the business. I just take care of him so he can be about the business.
Yeah, but this is about family, about couples here. So I see that Dan and Christy just popped off. I think that they're going to hopefully be back in a minute, because I wanted to say a fun fact that they said they moved how many times? 10 times?
Yeah.
We've been on the mountain now. This is our 17th year on the mountain. We're here 17 years. We've been married 31 years. So
Do the math.
So 17 years ago, we moved here. This is our 17th move. We moved 17 times before we moved into this house. So this is our 17th move. But
yeah.
Our fun fact, Amy, you asked us for a fun fact. We met on a blind date. My grandma, I went to Illinois to visit my grandma and grandpa for their 50th wedding anniversary. I was living in Alaska, and my grandma would write letters to all the grandkids. And so I got a letter from my grandma inviting me to their 50th wedding anniversary. Hey, Dan and Christy's back. Hi, guys. And so I was 25, and I flew to Illinois to visit them, and went to a movie with my grandma and the pastor's wife. I had been saved 10 months. I got saved October 2nd, 1988. And when I was in August of 1989, I flew to Illinois to see grandma and grandpa for their anniversary. And I went to a movie with my cousin, my grandma, and my grandma's pastor's wife. And they said, you need to find a girl to go out with. Like, well, I'm good for that. Yeah. So then Irma said, well, there's Terry at church. And my grandma goes, well, she's got kids. And I don't care. So I guess my grandma, they were very cute. So my grandma called Terry and asked her if she would show her grandson around. So grandma called you, and
I was like, no. Yes, I didn't want to go, but you can't say no to grandma.
Yeah.
You know?
So we had our first. We went to church, and I get to church. It was like 2 girls sitting behind me, and then an old couple in the front, and that's it in this church. It's like Wednesday night Bible study, and I'm going, well, that's not them. That's not her. And then after it was over, she was in a discipleship class in the back with the pastor, because she'd been saved about a year also.
Yeah.
And so she was wearing these tight jeans.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still remember those tight jeans.
Okay, never mind.
So and then we went out on a date, and we went bowling, and I let her win, because that's how I am. And we played miniature golf. No, we played pool. I'm sorry, pool and miniature golf. And I let her win both of them, because
No, I'm just good.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we went to Denny's, and we had dinner at Denny's like at midnight. And I'm just joking. I come from Alaska, where there's mountains. I mean, these are big mountains here, but Alaska, they're really big. And I was just joking. The tallest thing around here is a freeway overpass. She said, "Oh, we got a hill." She took me to this man-made sledding hill that was about as big as a freeway overpass. And we sat on that hill until 3 o'clock in the morning, just talking and sharing our dreams. And we had a total of 5 dates. And I proposed. I met her parents while I was there.
We fell in love.
Flew back to Alaska, and 2 months later, she flew to Alaska in November. Actually, the very end of October.
I'm glad it worked out.
And so 5 dates, and she flew to Alaska. We were married just 5 days later, and had a honeymoon in Talkeetna, Alaska. And Mindy was 2, and Michelle was 4, and now they're in their 30s.
30. Now they're 30 something.
Yeah. So that's who we are, Amy. So the business is we're just blessed with the business, and the business is doing well. So we're thankful to the Lord for that. So now, you want to ask about 2020?
Yeah.
2020 hasn't really, we're an essential business, so I haven't missed a day of work. I go to work every single day. Nothing. Yeah, you too, Dennis. So, but when they had the quarantine thing going on, our Kingman family came up every weekend. So I'd come home from work on Friday afternoon, and they'd all be here, and they'd all go home. It was just loud and boisterous all weekend. We'd watch church upstairs on the big TV, and we'd sing really loud, turn the music up, and it was just. I remember going back to church that first Sunday. What was it, in June or late May? And just like crying. It's like, oh man, it was so good to be back with people. And then they shut it down again. Oh, goodness.
But we were glad Mindy and Carl came up with the kids, and it helped us to not get lonely, So.
Yeah. So I don't know that it really 2020 hasn't affected us as much as I think a lot of other people. We've been more intentional about making sure that we're prepared, and if something bad happens. But all the riots and everything that happened this fall and last spring. So, but no.
And I think it brought us closer together as a family, or even as a couple, knowing that we can only keep our eyes on Jesus.
Yeah.
And not keep your eyes, not looking around the world and seeing what's going on, because that's scary. But if you keep your eyes on Jesus and keep faith in Him, that's what we've tried to do, or trying to do.
Yeah.
Just keep our eyes on Jesus.
We didn't have Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah.
So COVID. Mindy and Carl got COVID, so we had to cancel Thanksgiving. So first Thanksgiving in 31 years, we haven't had Thanksgiving as a family, just me and you.
Yeah.
So that's how 2020.
That was sad.
Yeah.
Well, first,
what else, Amy?
First, I want to say you guys are inspiring. Number one, finding a way to connect with family and make the most. I can picture what it would be like in your living room with your kids and the grandkids, and everybody singing and having a good time. And you can't be together, at church, but you guys are doing church right there in your house, and you're praising God anyway.
Yeah, we did.
So being able to, coming home on Friday and the whole house is full, and again, that's really cool. And then can I say that almost 32 years of marriage, I think you said. Can I tell you how encouraging that is? Amy and I are coming up on 20 this year, which is
right.
Which shows that she is a very resilient woman, right? We know that. Well, can I tell you how nice it is to see you guys enjoying being together, and how you said that you guys grew closer together / you're even as a couple. And almost 32 years in, wow, awesome. Thanks for the inspiration there. So
hey, it's good to see you guys. It's fun.
It is great to see. So Dan and Christy, you got anything you can kind of piggyback on that a little bit?
One way that our family or our life changed in 2020, besides moving, was homeschooling our kids for the first time ever, not by choice. We have always kind of wondered what that would be like. and it was a good experiment to know that that is not something that would work for our family long term. So we're very thankful that they go to the Christian school, and they've been in person for the most part since the fall. So that was a big change for us. And something that we would suggest just for family growth, or whatever you want to call it, is doing one family time together as a family. So even if it's just one day, we did a family day where we let each kid pick an activity. One wanted to do a bike ride, one wanted to bake something, and one wanted to play a game. So we just did all three of those things that day. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money or time or anything like that, but just getting good family time together. And then 2, getting a date night with your spouse. I know that's also easier said than done when you have small children, but even if it's putting them to bed and then playing a game or baking something, I don't know, you can do whatever you guys like, but getting that time in just for the 2 of you. And then 3rd, one thing we like to do is date our kids as well. So like once a month, we each try to do one date with each of our kids, even if it's just going to Sonic for a milkshake, or just, they love that one-on-one time, and it means a lot to them, and it's good for us too, just to connect with them better. So
I think one of the things that 2020 kind of showed us, just like what the Thorntons were saying, like worshiping as your family is really powerful. Taking time with your kids and with your spouse and worshiping together, that's, I don't know, we don't do it enough, I don't think. And I really encourage people, like, those good times out of that, like, remember that, and then try to continue that on. Try to bring that with your kids, whatever age they are. It's not always convenient, but
like
it's important.
Love it. That's awesome.
Not,
Thanks, guys.
Not convenient, but man, is it beautiful. That's so cool, man. That's awesome. All right, Luke, my bearded brother.
Yeah.
All right, man. So Luke is one of our, Luke serves on our elder board at Journey, and his incredible wife, Heather, serves in several capacities, including the women, woot woot, right? She serves in the office and also for events. So Luke and Heather, tell us a bit about you guys and what you have learned about the value of community this last year.
Luke and I have been married for 15 years in June.
Long
15
years.
long years. We moved here to Kingman from San Diego 4 years ago. And a fun fact with us is that we never planned on moving to Arizona.
Yeah, I swore up and down that I would never, ever leave San Diego, especially not to Arizona. And to me, Arizona meant this big, flat, sandy desert. I had no idea that there were like mountains and stuff, because geography is not my thing, apparently. And we went to our church in San Diego when we first met, and through like the first, gosh, I don't know, 7 or 8 years of our marriage, our church was at the beach. The church, we met in a school auditorium that was literally maybe half a mile from the beach. And there was a joke amongst all the beach churchgoers that, you weren't really a San Diegan if you lived east of the I-5. So moving to Arizona was a really, really, really big change, and a big shock to a lot of our friends and family and everything. But it has definitely proven to have been a good choice, and we're so glad that we did it.
I think one of the big changes we had in 2020 was inviting my mom to come live with us. We'd actually been trying for a couple of years to get her to come out here. And in March, she was out here for a visit, and the pandemic hit. So we said, you're not going back home to San Diego. You're going to stay right here for a couple of months. And she did. And during that time, she made the decision to come out here and live with us. And that was just a huge blessing, and an answered prayer for us. It's been a challenge. It's been different. We're all under one roof now with her little dog, and we are building a place that will accommodate all of us a little better. So in the meantime, we're making it work, and it's been a wonderful experience so far.
What Heather didn't tell you is that even before that, September of 2019, we got in touch with some friends of ours that we had known in San Diego, and they were in a spot, where were they? Iowa, I think, and they had just been through the ringer with some family things and taking care of, you know, aging family members, and they needed somewhere to have a break. And so we invited them to come live with us, along with their big Australian Shepherd, super fluffy dog, very cool dog. But you know, they moved in here in September, and then Heather's mom came out here. When did she come out for the visit? She came out in February. Yeah. And so they were still here with us. They were in the process of buying a house and rehabbing it, basically. So they were actually here. I don't think they moved out until May. So we had two friends. We had Heather's mom here. Her dog wasn't here yet, but it was a pretty full house. And so when church shut down, you know, like Larry and Terry talking about having church in their living room, well, so did we, because we literally had a full house anyway. And, you know, Dennis and Amy may have come over a couple of times for church on Sunday. So that was awesome because, you know, Amy's a fabulous musician. So she led us in worship. But it was a really, really cool experience, you know, just hanging out. Like, I mean, we lived in this house for 3 years and we had never, I think, hung out in the living room and sang worship songs together. So that was, you know, I don't know if I had ever done that in any house that we lived in, because it was just, I don't know, outside of my wheelhouse. So that was really cool. But it has been cool having your mom here with us. It's given me a chance to get to know her a lot better. And you know, I've got a lot of respect for older folks. I feel like we can learn a whole lot from them, and so that's been really cool to hear some of the stories that she has to, you know, embarrass Heather when she tells them. And I thought I had heard all of those, but apparently there's still a few that she has up her sleeve.
I also, you asked us what's changed, how 2020 has changed the value of our community. And I think one value that I didn't really think about before Mom came out was how valuable the church community is to us. And I have been so touched at how everybody in the church, my friends, just people in the church who come up to us and chat with us, how they've all embraced my mom. And it's been really hard for her because she's lived in San Diego all of her life. Then she moves out here and everything's closed down, so she can't meet people. But having that church community has been just an awesome blessing. And I'm just really grateful that she's had that during this time too.
Yeah, I think we hyped Journey up an awful lot to her mom, and Journey has lived up to the hype. I will just say that. So absolutely. She's loving going to church on a regular basis, and it wasn't something she was really able to do in San Diego. So it's been a huge blessing all around.
That's awesome. And obviously, you know, we love you guys like crazy, man. And we've watched you guys go through these transitions, you know, with Paul and Ashley coming out, who are also, you know, rock stars in our book, you know, lots of fun. Dallas, the big furry beast, you know, he's awesome, you know, and so these transitions, it's cool to see how, you know, how you guys have been blessed by it, you know, and how you've been blessing others through it, you know, and you're building a house, you're going through all these things, and it's so cool. And I got to tell you, man, through the entire 2020 thing, one of the coolest things for me personally, was worshiping and doing church with you guys in your living room. Like there was a connection there that just, I mean, the food is always amazing. We love you. And if you don't know, man, Luke is like the barbecue master. He's the smoke master. So, but anyway, I'm glad you shared that, because that was one of the coolest things for me, getting to do that with you guys those few times that we did. And there was just something really, really beautiful about that. So thanks for sharing that. Larry and Terry, you got anything you want to kind of chime in on about that?
Luke's an elder in our church, and I think something that I've been just kind of convicted of this past year, before pandemic, remember Matt last January, he said you need to get your daily dose, and he challenged us to get into a group of people and to text them on a daily basis. And 2020, I've been saved now since 1988, but I think I probably spent more time this year reading the Bible than I ever have. And it's because of those guys that text me every morning, and I text them back, and we actually just say DDD, daily dose done. And 2020 has been a great thing. And and then we're in an engaged group with Luke and Heather. So I know right where you guys are sitting right there. And tomorrow night we're having some barbecue. I'm excited about that. So yeah, that's gonna be good. And I want to just call out Rolly. We had Rolly and Danny up here a lot during the pandemic, and they just sat and sang with us. They never led in worship. Amy and Dennis, you guys come up, okay? Andy and Rolly. Yeah.
We like to worship.
Yeah.
We like singing.
Yeah. I know the questions you sent us, Amy, one of the questions you have on here is about the business. And, I don't like to mix the business and church. The church has always been, we have never lived near family. Our kids now are our family. And so we've always been super involved in the church, and it's always been our family has been the church. And the business is what we do to earn a living, but it's not who we are. The pandemic has been good for the business because it's helped us tighten our belts and to try to run the business more efficiently. But I don't really want to talk about the business. I want to just talk about brothers and sisters in Christ. And you guys are family and friends, and it's fun to just talk to you guys. So
I think that's
But the Lord is good.
all the time.
all the time. God is good. I think that's really good, because I feel like we have a tendency to put a lot of pressure on identity in our job. And I think that does get in the way. And it's great to hear you say that, because it is what you do for a living, but it isn't who you are. And so I love that fact, because I think that so many people, especially in our culture and especially in our world, truly get caught up in, this is what I do, and if I don't have this, then I'm not okay. And I think that was a real danger zone. And I think the pandemic created some of that, where people lost jobs and people lost family and people lost things, but we don't want to mix our identity with what we do, because we know we have to really truly remember that God is God, and he has it all under control, and we have to keep our eyes focused on him, and we have to be intentional with our family and with our friendship and with our church community, because that is who we are. That's the living organism of who we really are and who God called us to be. And so I love that. And so as we kind of take all of this information that we have, I'd like to take some of that and say, how do we take it and walk into 2021? We're in February, and we're walking into this new year, and how can we do that? And so, Christy, what's the number one thing families should do together in 2021?
Number one, I think we kind of touched on this earlier, but I would say try to get quality time as a family and with each individual kid as often as you can. And what Dan said is just try to worship together. And I would also add maybe doing like a family devotion, even if you can only get it in a few mornings or nights a week. And even if it's only 10 minutes, just start building that foundation and having that time where they put Jesus first and learn how to do that as a family, so that when they're older, they can do it on their own.
That's so good.
That's
And
awesome.
so, Larry and Terry, what is the number one thing marriages and marriages should do in 2021?
What do you think?
Well, I think communicate. Learn to communicate well. That's the thing. So that's what we work on. We have to work on that, and so I don't know. That's what I think that for us anyway.
I think communicate with each other and with the Lord. You know, I think it's important that we every night before we go to bed we pray together.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also knowing each other and knowing yourself. I've learned over the years what I do that drives her crazy, and
just kidding.
And I try not to do it, but I sense that we're going to need to just mute.
I need to communicate better.
But I think we don't really argue hardly like we used to when we were young, you know. And so I think it's because we have learned how to.
Because marriage takes work.
It's a lot of
work.
It
doesn't just happen. You have to work at it.
Yep.
So.
That's definitely
every day.
something that I think everybody can do. I think that our world could learn to communicate a little bit better. Amen. Like,
For sure.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Luke and Heather, what's the number one thing people should do with their community or their church community in 2021?
Barbecue, 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 barbecue. No. Well, yes, but no. I think that, you know, we talked earlier about, you know, just the fact, you know, like Heather was connecting with people she hadn't talked to in years. And, you know, a lot of us found new ways to connect with people. And I think that as things open back up, we should really be aware of, you know, that even as we're able to meet more regularly in large groups, that we shouldn't give up that practice. You know, like for instance, myself, like I just had lunch with Dennis the other day, and it was awesome because, you know, just got time to talk and just kind of, you know, tell each other what's going on in our lives. So things like that, like just because you can meet in a large group, you know, hopefully in the near future here, doesn't mean that, you know, we should give up on those new ways of meeting. You know, whatever it was, you know, if you weren't used to doing online stuff, you know, maybe use that instead of picking up the phone to call somebody that lives on the other side of the country. You know, do a video chat with them so they can see your face. You know, keep incorporating those things into your life, and really just make sure that you're being grateful for everything. I just think back to the middle of summer when the church had been closed for a couple of months. And that first Sunday when we all came back together in corporate worship, man, I realized how much I had taken that for granted. And I don't want to take that for granted ever again.
I love how you wrap that up. You know, because I think that's one of the things for me too this last year that I've seen, not only in the stories, you know, presented here tonight, but just kind of across the spectrum, you know, is, man, just that need to connect, just that need and desire to be together and finding a way to do that, and then rejoicing, you know, when we can, you know, and man, just so good, you know, and through all the different conversations, I think that's the common denominator through all of it. You know, Jesus made us to be in connection with him and one another, you know, and we have found a way, you know, it's like that awesome song, Do It Again, you know, you made a way when there was no way. You know, I'm like, Luke, I didn't know about this Zoom stuff. I've been doing conference calls for 20 years, but this is different. This is a different way of communicating, And, Dan and Christy, what you guys are doing, with the kids and the young families and the parents who are navigating just craziness, with the schools up and down and in and out. I mean, it's just amazing. So, and Larry and Terry, trying to, being just having an awesome family, leading your family, taking care of others, in the pandemic. Luke for leading us, as an elder, standing in that gap, and kind of being that spiritual anchor, for all of us, keeping us anchored when the wind just wants to toss us all and throw us in different directions, man. So I thank each and every one of you for your leadership. Ladies, I want to say something personal to you, is that if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be the men that we are. I'll speak for myself, but I think I can speak for these other guys, that you make us want to be better men. That's the impact that you have in our life. And so, guys, take care of these ladies. Ladies, continue to have those hard conversations with us, because we need it and we love you. And you are our Azer Conegdos. You're our helpmates. You're our lifesavers. So if it wasn't for you, then we'd be in big trouble. So happy Valentine's Day to all of you guys. We love you. We cherish you. And just thank you guys so much for participating in this, for being willing to take some time and sharing with everybody, giving us a little glimpse into your world and another way to connect, another way for people to connect with you. And as part of our Journey family who may not be able to, there's still a lot of people at home, haven't been able to come back out yet. And so we just hope this would be a tether of connection for them too. And maybe just a little spark of hope that even when things seem really bad, we can keep smiling, right? And so
maybe a little piece of courage to reach out, like Dan and Christy, reach out and call somebody and invite them over for dinner. It takes some risk to do that, but it's worth it. It's worth it to reach out and connect. So I want to make sure that this is part of that. Like, we're reaching out and connecting, and we're all in our own homes, but it's working.
It is working.
So I don't want to lose the value of that hardcore connection that we need to have with each other. And right now, especially, everyone's isolated. Everyone is feeling the weight of 2020. And so if somebody pops on your mind and God says, hey, go ahead and call them, just reach out and do it, because it will be worth it every single time, and God will provide a way. So reach out.
Every single time. Find a way, make a way to continue to connect. And thank you guys for being an incredible example. We hope to spend time with all of you very soon, especially you, Luke, because we know you're going to be cooking something awesome. So, and thanks to everybody for joining us for this episode of Coffee and Conversation. And until next time, keep the conversation going. And as always, be strong and courageous. Have an awesome day.
Bye.
Before.
Smile weird.
Christy, would you control your man?
He's got a Mexico mug. Is that Mexico?
Yes. Viva la Mexico. Oh, you did it. Oh, no.
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 Let's get ready to rumble.
Oh, that's right.
This is like herding cats.
Oh, this is awesome.
Matching set.
He's making himself hot.
We need those little from the Karate Kid, the little drums with the me.
Don't touch it.
Don't touch it. Oh my God.
No.
Christy's eating dinner still?
Hey, you gotta eat.
Somebody else was saying. So just like that. Thanks, Larry. That was perfect.
what we do.
So is talking. That's what is being recorded. So
Did you find it?
No, I haven't found it. I'm still looking. I'm not finding. Where is it? I found it. I found it. We're good.
You're gonna warn us when we start filming, right? So we stop eating.
yes,
Oh,
I
we
will.
started filming 3 minutes ago. You're good.
Yeah, we did that.
We're gonna keep that in there. Kidding. See, that's the good.
This smile.
Is he an upside down smiley face? Did he get
No, it's a red.
Where'd you go?
It looks just like his beard. He puts it up there. Okay. Oh, it's got glasses on.
He's got glasses too.
Okay.
This computer just all of a sudden had this blue screen, and it was like, this computer needs to shut down now. And it was like 5%, 6%. And it's been on the charger the whole time. Dan's like, that's never happened before. So we frantically got on his phone, and that's why we've had all the crazy angles and the moving and all the. Sorry about that.
Cool.